Joined June 25th, 2012, right after I graduated high school. And I'll get out June 25th or 24th of 2017. I am a tactical data systems administrator. Basically what I do is I set up a system like servers and stuff like that that talks out to what's called like the SIPRnet, the military secret internet. And what it does is it lets the people I work for, the desk, they're the ones who call in like close air support, CASEVACs, like taking casualties off the battlefield, or like I said, close air support, like calling in like a Harrier or something to come in and bomb it or whatever. I'll make sure they can do their job. Like when you go from high school to boot camp, they control every aspect of your life to the point where, like, if you're shaving, you see me in there shaving and I'm like, it's because when you're in boot camp, they're like 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, done, sir. And then if you're not done, like you're sitting there and you're shaving again, but like they're making you shave your entire face again. And it's just like, and they'll do it and do it and do it until you've gotten everything and your face is like raw. And 10, 9, 8, 6, 5, 4, and then by that time, like once you learn your lesson, like you're like done. Scary story about the MCT though is you do what's called buddy rushes. So like you're in rows and you and the other guy, one of you will run up while he shoots. You run, you say, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, you lay down, and then he gets up, I'm up, he sees me, I'm down, he gets down while you're shooting. And we were doing it one day and we were using live bullets, like real bullets. And if you walked, there was like there's people on each side of you shooting. So if you veered too far one way, you got shot in the leg. And if you went the other way, you got shot in the leg. So you just either hope that if you walked out in front of the other guy, he stops shooting, or you get shot in the leg, or don't walk out in front of him. So the whole time I'm sitting there running, I'm like, don't shoot me, 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 down. Don't shoot me, 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 I'm down. We were in California one time, and actually when I went to go meet Rita's mama for the first time, we were walking around, and I got followed for like a mile and a half, getting yelled at for being a baby killer.
A baby killer?
Yeah, a baby killer, because that's what they called, like in the 60s, that's what they called like Marines and military when they came.
Daddy was drafted in 1951. He was 18 years old during the Korean War. I remember him telling me that when he left Wilson on the bus, that he never thought he'd see Wilson, North Carolina again. He was stationed in Hawaii. He was, of course, sent to Korea. He fought in the Korean War. During the war, his time in the war, he carried a bar, and I know that he carried an M1. I know that he also used a mortar. I know that when he told me how cold it was there, he said that every morning they'd have to break their rifle, break the ice from around their rifle where it sat on the ground to pick up their weapons. He talked about that one of his best friends was decapitated during the war, and that had a big effect upon him. He talked about that every time he talked about it, which was very seldom, because he seldom talked about the war. But when he did mention it, he would get real sad. I know that I asked him one time, like a child will do, I asked him if he ever killed anyone in the war. And all he would ever say was, a few. When they got the word, the way they got the word that they were coming home was Daddy went running up this hill. They were up the hill, and Daddy went running up the hill, and he burst into the tent, and he was out of breath, and he told them that they were going home, and boy, they just danced, and they were so glad to be going home.
So all my granddaddy's brothers were in the service. My granddaddy Edwards' brothers were all in the service. All my Granddaddy Johnson's brothers were all in the service. My granny's brother, Nellie Gray's brother, his name was TJ. He was in the Army. Her other brother, Bud, he was in the service, and I'm not sure what branch he was in, but I know that her uncle Ralph Shadding, he was in the service, and he actually fought he was actually in the Army, and he fought in Germany, I think during World War I. His name was Luther Johnson, but everybody always called him Buster. That was his nickname. He joined the Navy, but they took him. They moved him from the Navy to the Marine Corps because he was a medic in World War II, and he was at the battle at Iwo Jima. He actually saw them raise the flag at Iwo Jima, and he got a Purple Heart. When he was at Iwo Jima, he was a medic, and he was carrying a stretcher, and he got shot in the leg, in the back of the leg, and when he got shot, he immediately fell down, and then somebody came behind him and took up the stretcher, and they kept going, so he had to roll over into a foxhole and wait for them to come back. I do know that while he was in that foxhole, my Uncle Pete told me this, there was another American, either soldier or Marine, in the foxhole, and he had gone crazy, and my granddaddy, he had to punch him in the face and knock him out to keep the guy from killing him. I guess he was confused, disoriented, and he thought that granddaddy was an enemy soldier, but he had to knock him out to keep the guy from killing him. And my Uncle Pete, my granddaddy's brother, my granddaddy was Buster Johnson. My Uncle Pete Johnson, his real name's Joseph. He was in the Air Force during the Korean War. He didn't fight in the war, but he was in the Air Force, and he traveled to England, North Africa. He was also in Casablanca. No, it was my great granddaddy who was in France in 1917. He actually has a journal that tells everywhere he walked or hiked.
Прадедушка служил на подводной лодке на Тихоокеанском флоте. И родился я там, в городе Наход. И вот он служил, значит, там была база подводных лодок, это база и несколько домов офицерских. Вот и все, и там же я родился. Потом с Находки его переправили в Порт-Артур, и мы переехали в Порт-Артур. А с Порт-Артура опять в Россию, это бухта Ольга, тоже база подводных лодок. Потом прадедушку направили в Китай военным советником, тогда были очень хорошие отношения с Китаем. Вот. А мы продолжали жить в Владивостоке. Приключений у прадедушки было очень много. В Гане, говорит, приехали в Гану, вот, с президентом там все, а утром просыпаемся, по телевизору показывают голову президента отрубленную. Там опять ночью переворот произошел. Говорит, ну и а мы срочно, они нас там не трогают. Срочно уехали оттуда. А у меня так. Вот я кончил в Москве школу, Но так как вот дед военный моряк, отец мой военный моряк, и мне все это долбили с детства прямо, что я буду военным моряком. Понимаешь? Ну, так такое. Ну, и я действительно кончил школу, поехал в Ленинград, поступил в училище военно-морское. Вот. Проучился я там, окончил первый курс. Вот. А на практике был на Балтике, на эсминце. Я на нем прослужил, но недолго. Примерно в летнюю кампанию 3 месяца прослужил. А потом заболел я, у меня язву обнаружили, и меня комиссовали. И его призвали в армию. Вот. Причем во флот призвали. А во флоте служить 3 года, а в армии 2. И многие тогда не хотели на флоте. Ну, 3, лучше 2 служить, чем 3. Вот. Ну, Вовка как-то уже... Все, говорят, у меня в семье моряки, и я пойду на флот. Приехали, привезли их из Москвы в Мурманск. И попал Володя служить на очень хороший корабль, не на подводную лодку, и не боевой корабль, а судно морской разведки. Корабль польской постройки, но который очень сильно вооружен вот этими радиоантеннами все. И прослужил он в полярном городе. Буквально 1.5 года, и он ушел на Кубу. А на Кубе там наших много кораблей. Через их корабль связь была с подводными лодками, со флотом там, и сами. И еще основная их задача, вот идет американская эскадра куда-то, они и наши сопровождают и передают курс. В нейтральных водах, там же не подерешься, понимаешь, там же воды нейтральные. Вот. На них самолеты, говорит, пикировали американские, пытались запугать там, ну, всякое.